died yesterday morning and not on Monday, as claimed by the PDP leaders. The self-acclaimed eyewitnesses told our correspondent that the victim was one Chimenem from Ogbasara village in Omanwa community, Ikwere local government area. They said the victim was a member of the local vigilante outfit, OSPAC. But yesterday, the Ikwere Council chairman, who led other PDP supporters to continue occupying the INEC office in Port Harcourt, gave the name of the victim for the first time as Anthony Okpara.
We are saying clearly, police, we don't want to take the laws in our hand. Toyeko is not above the law. But if Toyeko is still walking the streets of Rivers State, then they are calling for anarchy. Because you cannot take the life of our people in 2019, take their life in 2023 before our naked eye on Monday, and you expect us to be normal. So Toyeko has to be called in for investigative purposes. Police is right to declare him to appear before them and answer questions how Mr. Anthony Okpara was taken off this world. We want him to come and explain.
Also, coordinator of GDI Worldwide and former chairman of Obiakpo local government area, Collins Onwo, said Anthony Okpara was also known as Pikin from Ogbo community in Awode East local government area. He said the victim was a member of GDI.
Okay, the GDI person that was shot here is from a community in Ahuda East local government, from a community called Ogbo. The name of the person for us, we call him Pikin. That's the popular name, we know him as Pikin. I don't know his real name. He was shot, right? I was crying, bleeding. Pictures can see it from Facebook. He was bleeding to death. Who did that? Armed men attached to the so-called candidate of APC called Toyeko.
One of the organizers of the PDP protest, Marvin Yobana, told our correspondent that the corpse was deposited at the military hospital mortuary. He said they are not in the position to identify the body.
The family is the family of the deceased. They are mourning, and we have to respect their privacy. And at this point, that the police has taken over the investigation, it is not in our place to start calling names. So, as a reporter, if you go to the mortuary, you ask the person who died from wounds sustained from the riot, from the shooting of Toyeko, who shot him. From there, they'll be able to tell you. It is for the family to announce it and not for us to make that.
As you may know, the protest started on Monday to demand for a joint inspection of election materials at the INEC office. The PDP supporters have vowed not to leave until their demands are met. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, who's one of the leaders of the protest, said they continue to occupy the INEC office because if the APC is allowed to inspect election materials alone, they will connive with agencies to tender fake results as evidence in court.
Yes, INEC released a statement that has two legs. They said certain documents are in the local governments. As I speak to you, our people have gone in obedience to the INEC directive. They also said in another leg in that same press statement that the other documents are here. So we have obeyed them. You can see we are law abiding. Our people are there in the 23 local government requesting peacefully for those documents, while we are also here requesting for the other ones that they said are here. So we have obeyed their directive.
The Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Okun Effiong, says the command is investigating claims that 2 people were shot and 1 person was killed during the PDP protest on Monday. CP Effiong said the command is insisting that the corpse of the person who died be shown to the police. He said until that is done, the police cannot confirm any death. CP Effiong also said the command has been able to see the person who was injured and it is a bullet wound on the leg. He said the APC governorship candidate Toyeko was asked to come with his aides, who are policemen, because they have been accused of shooting and killing someone. CPF also said that the chairman of Ikoyi local government area, Samuel Wanosike, the deputy speaker of the House of Assembly, Edison Eye, and the chairman of Falga have also been invited to come and help the police with the investigation. In the meantime, human rights lawyer Henry Ekine says the use of fetish items, otherwise called juju, by protesting PDP members at the INEC office on Aba Road is criminal. Mr. Ekine, who is also the national legal advisor of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, tells correspondent Emeka Otuka that it is regrettable that the security agencies have not taken action.
one out of the other 17 political parties that took part in the election will take upon themselves and supporters of that party to conduct themselves in a way that's likely to breach the peace and provocative and, of course, criminal. Because a situation where persons who clearly identify themselves as supporters and members of the People's Democratic Party will lay siege, converging and invoking juju and all sorts of criminal acts in the public is most condemnable. Invoking juju is an offense under our criminal laws.
In another development, the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Port Harcourt has so far received 34 petitions from different political parties that participated in the just concluded general elections in Rivers State. Correspondent Emeka Otaka, who visited the tribunal holding at the Rivers State Judiciary Complex, reports that the name of the political parties and their candidates challenging the outcome of the elections were displayed on a notice board. The outcome of the Senatorial House of Representatives and State House of Assembly elections are also being challenged. Some of the petitions so far received by the tribunal are from Labour Party governorship candidate Beatrice Utubo, APC governorship candidate Toye Cole, and some others. Information seen on the notice board shows that the Labour Party and APC governorship candidates have been granted a motion to inspect electoral materials. The chairman of APC in Rivers State, Emeka Beke, has described the suspension as a distraction. Mr. Beke said this during media briefing at the State Party Secretariat with about 28 out of the 36 members of the APC State Executive Committee in Port Harcourt yesterday.
If you watch in the last couple of the PDP they are in the front of INEC. They said they will be there till Friday. That's the last day we're going to file our case in the tribunal. But it's going to be shocking to them that we're going to file our case in the tribunal. That is clear. We'll fight because the facts and figure that is clear into Street of Rivers know that Wicked in PDP did not win election in Rivers State. What they did just started there has allocate result figures to themselves and all that. They are scared of that. And what they are trying to do is just to disorganize the party, to put the party in disarray, and that's what they do.
The APC state chairman also denied the allegations leveled against him.
Nobody has been raising money for this party, you must know that first. And I don't know where we've gotten anything that they've been denied of. I'm surprised to hear that. I don't know where it's coming from. The only appointment has come since Amici left as Honorable Minister is the Minister for State for Environment, and that is a member of the party. The appointment that have come again is Ambassador Maureen Tamno in Jamaica. I don't know what other thing has come to the party that probably has been denied by anybody. I'm surprised to hear that from them.
Recall that some members of the APC State Executive Committee yesterday announced the suspension of the party's chairman Emeka Beke and legal advisor Inyanyuchiko Azubike over alleged anti-party activities and financial misconduct. Still ahead, court stops Labour Party from suspending national officers. Stay tuned as we go for a quick break. Thank you for staying tuned now to the rest of the news. A State High Court sitting in Benin has restrained Labour Party and all its members from any suspension of its national officers till the determination of motion and notice. Labour Party lawyer G.C. Igbokwe confirmed to journalists that he has got a High Court order that status quo is maintained and no action which may result in the suspension of any national officer of the party be taken. 37 inmates were released from the Port Harcourt prison yesterday in the first jail delivery of this year. Speaking during the exercise, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Simon Amadi, again blamed the police for the congestion at the correctional centre. He said the police still deliberately charged suspects to a court that lacks jurisdiction to hear the case. He, however, advised the police to conduct proper investigation before charging suspects to court.
The police, this is not the first time I'm saying it. Even before I became chief judge, in some of the workshops we have had, I've had cause to raise it. We find out in Rivers State, a person goes to the police station to report a mere case of stealing. The police will turn it to be armed robbery, kidnapping, all type of offenses that they know that the magistrate court does not have jurisdiction, so that that person will be reminded. You go to a community, there's a matter reported. Instead of going and do thorough investigations, they go there and round up almost 20 persons from the community. If certain things are not done, they are now pushed to court with a very bogus charge, so that those people will be reminded. I think we have to check our conscience. Are we doing the right thing?
Our correspondent reports that most of the freed inmates have been in detention for over 6 years. The Rivers State Civil Service Commission has started the verification exercise for the promotion of civil servants in the state. This is after the state governor Wike lifted the embargo on employment and promotion of civil servants in the state. Our correspondent spoke to two civil servants on this.
It was fast because though I came in the morning, but we have a very reasonable number of admin officers and other officers in other cadres. So because of the number, you don't expect to finish it under 2 hours or 3 hours. The number is reasonably high.
As we speak now, some other ministries are already there. They have verified their papers and it is ongoing. Definitely, you don't expect it to be smooth because there is already a backlog. So that is exactly what it is. Ordinarily, the promotion exercise has started and it is going on.
Some civil servants who are physically challenged also spoke on this.
I don't think there is any plans like that because I was hoping at least they come around, see persons that are challenged and attend to you despite your ministry, because they're not supposed to keep us waiting, but we're still here.
Some tipper drivers and sand dealers in Chokocho say the continuous closure of the tipper park in Eche local government area has badly affected their business. Chairman of the tipper park, Christian Njoku, said parking on the major road has continued to endanger the activities. Mr. Njoku further appealed to the government to reopen the Eche tipper park.
It has been affecting us so much because the tipper park is like a shelter for we tipper people. Our parking on the road is equally endangering our activity because this road is a busy road from Igrita to Okwala, which make it to be a federal road. So we pray that since the election is over, it will touch the heart of those in leadership to keep us out of the road. When you come to the park and pick up a truck, if anything happen along the line, you have where to come and look for the tipper. The tipper park have contributed so much, both employment. If we are 100 here by number, indigenous that are benefiting from here are up to 65%.
Some drivers also shared with our correspondent the difficulties they have been facing since the closure of the tipper park on January 17.
I'm a contractor in Chokocho where I do my daily business supply sand. If I'm not mistaken, the first week or second week when they close the park, they park tipper along the road and it caused accident. I don't know whether they called the young man. Like, I want to appeal to His Excellency Governor Newsumke and also appeal to the executive chairman of Eche local government to help and open the park for us. That's where we will survive. So many contractors now that are not coming to Eche because of what's happened. And for you to see tipper is very difficult.
Since we then close the tipper park, no money again for our hand. Our business don't go down. No feed our family again because of the condition, nowhere to stay. I beg our governor with our local government chairman, make them help us open the place for us.
Our vehicles now don't have anywhere to park. We now park along the roads, waiting for our customers to come so that we deliver their.
As you may know, the HALJ chairman Dr. Obina Ayawu directed the seal-off of the tipper park after the member representing Eche Omuma Federal Constituency, Ephraim Uzi, used the park for APC campaign. In business, Senate has indicted Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited for poor record-keeping for crude oil deliveries to Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company and Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company worth 102.6 billion naira. The indictment stemmed from the 2016 Auditor General report submitted and presented by Senator Matthew Uwagude, which was upheld by the Senate chamber during the plenary session. In entertainment, Japanese zoologist and filmmaker Masanori Atta, who made connecting humans with animals his life's purpose, has died at 87. Mutsugoro, as he was fondly known, was famous for directing The Adventures of Milo and Otis, an 80s classic about the unlikely friendship between a kitten and Pog. In sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have dropped 5 places to become 40th in the world and 6th in Africa in the latest FIFA ranking released on Thursday. Globally, Argentina climbed to
news from around the world.
Rob Leach as a Democrat, oldest assassinated President F. Kennedy and nephew of President John F. Kennedy. The environmental lawyers campaign John E. Sullivan confirmed the filing. On news this afternoon, some National Assembly members from Rivers State joined conflicting reports emerged over the identity of alleged dead protester. Rivers dismissed suspension by agreed members. On the phone scene, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is to contest this afternoon. Peace Earth, the permission to let this rain. I'm Kala Dakuru Batabo. Good afternoon.